Off the Field with the HBC, presented by Chick-fil-A. Visit our locations on Forest Drive and Two Notch Road. When you tailgate, punt the burger, ask the chicken. And by James W. Smith Real Estate at the beach. Ask about our Gamecock off-season special.
Crescent Beach, Florida.
Crescent
Beach.
Beach.
We go to Crescent 3 or 4 times a year. So we're always there. Usually July 4th weekend is when we get all the children and grandchildren down there. So we were certainly there again this year.
Jerry says you can't spend but about 3 or 4 days and you get pretty itchy.
Yeah, 4 or 5, and I'm ready to leave the beach. Yeah. I sort of had planned a long time ago to retire at the beach. You know, that's what you think about, I guess, when you're 45, 55, something like that. And then all of a sudden you get to be 65 or more, and you say that doesn't sound like a very good idea. So, yeah, life changes for probably all of us as we go. And, yeah, I'm not ready to live at the beach, that's for sure.
You know, and Coach Malzahn mentioned earlier this week that, you know, you've influenced him greatly. Have you ever thought about how many coaches out there have tried to emulate what you do and how you do it?
Well, I've heard several of them tell me, Coach, I wear the visor because you did. And so that's always flattering that it's a compliment that they said, hey, that guy on the sideline calling the plays wears a visor, maybe I will too. But it is interesting that a lot of these coaches, like Gus Malzahn and Hugh Freeze, came up through the high school ranks. They were high school coaches and then maybe got to be an assistant coach somewhere and then a head coach. And certainly good coaches come from everywhere. And I think it's neat that there are some head college coaches out there now that were excellent high school coaches, and it shows that you can advance through the high school ranks also.
And, you know, was there, to his point of saying Malzahn was saying he seasons himself after you, is there any coach that you modeled yourself after coming up when you were starting to get in the coaching ranks or as you've gone along in the coaching profession?
Oh, I didn't really try to model anyone, but the coaches I really liked, probably the one NFL coach was Bill Walsh, the San Francisco 49er head coach that called the plays. And when I got into coaching as a quarterback coach, you know, calling the plays, well, heck, that's what I did in high school and in college. And nowadays, I think Peyton Manning's the only quarterback that calls his own plays pretty much. But that's what we did back in the 60s and 70s and so forth, is that they let the quarterback call the plays. So that's what I did. And, of course, Bill Walsh of the 49ers, he was the head coach, did the same thing, and had tremendous success out there.
Sticking with something that you're really passionate about with the players, you know, obviously with Todd Gurley having to sit out, now Jameis Winston, I know you're a big proponent of giving the players just a little bit of money. And these situations don't happen if you play these players, don't you think?
Yeah, I think we're eventually going to get the cost of attendance, as they call it, but it's different at every school, so they don't know what the number is. But I'm still a believer that college football and college basketball players are the ones that bring in most of the money, and they deserve a little bit extra. The other sports, I think, are pretty happy with full scholarships and what they're doing now because they're not income-producing sports. But anyway, I'm not going to make that call, but that is my opinion right there. But, yeah, we all know the rules, and I think with Johnny Manziel, he missed a half a game for signing autographs, and whether or not he got money, who knows. So these other kids said, hey, maybe I'll miss half a game like Johnny Manziel did if I do what he did. So we'll see how it all plays out.
All right, Coach, this week, you know, obviously game day is going to be here, you know, which is huge for recruiting and for the fans and everything. How does it change things for you when game day comes to town? It
doesn't change anything, particularly for me. Friday afternoon, I'll go by the Horseshoe on campus and probably talk to Lee Corso and Herb Street and the gang, Chris Fowler and so forth. So I'll do a quick appearance there. But other than that, game day, I like to do the same stuff. And, you know, they ask you to do everything. In fact, the rain delay of our home game here, they wanted me to go on television and talk to the broadcasting people. And I said, no, I'll hang in the locker room with the players. So I don't like to do extra PR stuff that a lot of these coaches love to do. Of course, most of these other coaches don't coach anything, so that's what they do is talk to the media. But I'm still trying to call ball plays and trying to get the team ready to play.
And Coach, you know, grandchildren, how many of them are involved in sports? Do you ever get a chance to watch them play?
Yes, I get a chance to watch Steve's 2 sons play at Heathwood Hall. and they're on, I think, the 8th or 9th grade team now, 8th grade team, I believe it is. Played them. I saw them play a couple of games last year. This year, I was not able to go to one. One of them's playing offensive center and linebacker, and the other one, I think, is a wide receiver that shuttles in the plays. Every other play, he's out there. So Luke and Gavin, they're playing a little football over there, and Emmeline, I think, is a cheerleader at times, and but that's about it right now. My oldest grandson is up at Winthrop College, and he's sort of an actor. He's good at plays and all that. And my other grandson, that's college age, is out at Trinity University in San Antonio, Texas. So he's out there on the football team and doing pretty well. He's also the punter and backup quarterback right now.
Off the Field with the HBC, presented by Chick-fil-A. Visit our locations on Forest Drive and Two Notch Road. When you tailgate, punt the burger, pass the chicken. And by James W. Smith Real Estate at the beach. Ask about our Gamecock off-season special.